Essex, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here today to talk through you a tractor accessory that you might want to consider picking up or giving as a gift this holiday season. This is a Sawhall. These guys have pretty good ground game. They've promoted these very well, and I actually wanted one for my own tractor, so we're going to go through the installation of it here today. Very simply, it's a chainsaw scabbard that you can install onto the side of your machine in order to make sure that you keep your chainsaw in a safe place somewhere that you're not going to back over it. So Sawhalls come in this nice, ready for wrapping paper box that is going to come with only a couple of parts in it. So when you want to open one of these guys up, you're going to have two things in here. There is the Sawhall itself, this big scabbard. Nice, big, heavy piece of plastic, a lot heavier than what your traditional, like, come with the chainsaw or even with the good molded cases scabbards are. This is obviously made to hold some weight. And then a hardware box. Depending on what version of this you get, you might have a couple of other loose parts banging around in here, some big U-bolts and stuff depending on what version you're going to use. Speaking of versions, these come in a couple different ways. So you can get one to go onto the ROPS of your tractor, one to go onto the loader, which I'm going to do here today, and then also some specialty configurations for things like Polaris's Quick Connect that they have on their utility vehicles, just specialty ones that they've got mountings made up for specific machines. When I first thought about putting one of these on, I actually intended to come out here and put it onto my ROPS because I was thinking somewhere back here in the rear of the tractor would be a nice place to have this. As soon as I came back here though, I started to find some fitment issues. So if you're going to order one of these, this is something you want to eye up before you place that order. The bracket that they have here goes onto the narrow flat end of the ROPS. It doesn't go onto the end like I expected to find. When you go and you start looking at that flat end, you want to think through exactly where this sizable scabbard is going to fit. So if I line that up back here in the back of my ROPS, you see it's not going to fit real well. It ends up hanging off down here in the bottom and getting in the way of the taillights. And if I come up high enough, I'm getting up into the area that, one, I can't reach my chainsaw real well, but also if I end up folding my roll bar back, this is going to be pointed up in the air. So a ROPS mount one, even though you're used to buying stuff for your ROPS for your tractor, may not be the best idea. The loader is probably the better bet. But there's definitely going to be some applications, say like man lifts and that kind of stuff, where this style of mounting might actually be preferred. Putting a Sawhall together is a bit like doing a piece of IKEA furniture. You end up with all of these extra pieces that you don't always seem to use, and that is absolutely the case here. The hardware that they put into these boxes seems to be somewhat standardized across different versions of it, so you're usually going to have extra nuts and bolts that you're not going to use. The directions are not fantastic, but to be frank, when you go through, you look at this kind of thing, you probably don't need the directions. It's not all that complicated to put together. When you hold these pieces here, this main assembly right here with the hole is where that scabbard is going to go through. It supports that. And to put this onto a loader, you need a little bit wider piece here in order to do that. So you start by putting these pieces in right here with these nuts on it and go ahead and tightening them up. This is going to use a 5mm Allen wrench here in order to hold this tight. And you just go ahead and tighten those guys up to get this bracket on. Once you've got these two pieces put together, you're going to take this really large U-bolt, find a place here on your loader to slip this guy around where it's going to mount nicely. Now you want to watch when you put these on, this has an upside. The plastic here should be going up. You're also going to have that Sawhall logo pointed up as well. So just find a place here and slide this over top and bolt it on. Now you're going to want to think through a little bit where you're going to put this. Generally it's going to be on the side of the tractor where you're normally going to exit, so say opposite where your loader valve would be, and also be mindful to where your hydraulic hoses are and that kind of thing. So if you're sitting on the tractor, generally the left-hand side of the machine is where you're going to be preferring to put this. Okay. So that's just a quick rundown on the Sawhall. Not an overly complicated piece, but definitely very useful and cool. This is made by an American company, a guy and his family that puts these together, and really a very fair price for the quality that it is. There's absolutely no doubt he does not intend this thing to fall off of your tractor. So if you'd like to pick one of them up, you can check the link down here in the video description. It'll take you to our website where we've got the different variations of this in stock for you to be able to purchase. So if you're looking for a Sawhall or shopping for a piece of equipment or have parts or service needs, give us a call at Essex. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at Essex.com. Neil from Essex here today to talk to you a Neil from Messick's here today to show you an accessory that I'm actually installing on my tractor. Neil from Messick's here to show you an accessory that I'm installing on my tractor for this fall. Neil from Messick's here today to talk to you. Neil from Messick's here today. Neil from Messick's here today to talk through you a Ready? Neil from Messick's here today to talk through you a tractor accessory that you might want to consider picking up or giving as a gift this holiday season.